discussing a lot of topics about math of investment, including the prelim, midterm, and finals. So before we start our discussion, let me first introduce to you the steps in problem solving. This technique will help us to organize and to solve our problems in the simplest way. So the first steps in problem solving is read the problem and analyze what's been asked. Second, write first the given quantities that you needed. Third, create or find the right formula to use. And then substitute the given into the formula. And last, perform the operations and solve. And now let us proceed to our discussions. First, in our preliminaries, our topic is about amount and present value of simple interest. Accumulation, the process of determining the amount of a given principal due at a specific time. To accumulate a P for T years means to solve for the final amount by applying the formula. So here are our formula to get the final amount of a simple interest. F is equal to P multiplied by 1 plus RT. Next is discounting. It is the process of determining the present value of any amount due in the future. To discount on F for T years means to solve for the present value by applying the formula. So the formula for our present value is P equals to F divided by 1 plus RT. So here is our sample problem, and let us apply the steps that we discussed earlier. First in our steps is to read and analyze the problem. So the problem is accumulate 5,900 pesos for 12 months to charge 6% simple interest. What amount must you pay? So from the word accumulate, the final amount is the being asked in the problem. Next is we should write the given quantities. So in our present value, we have 5,900 pesos. Our rate is 6%, and in a decimal point, we have 0.06. Our term is 12 months, so we needed it in years. So we have 1 year. And our solution, our third step is to determine the formula needed. Our formula is for final amount, which is F equals P multiplied by 1 plus RT. In fourth step, we will substitute the given into the formula. So we have F equals 5,900 multiplied by 1 plus 0.06 multiplied by 1. And our final step is to solve and to perform the operations. So we need to solve or to compute first and inside the paragraph or the bracket. So we have 1 plus 0.06 times 1. So just copy, because 0.06 times 1 is equals to 0.06. And then we need to add the 1. So we have 5,900 times 1.06. And when we multiply that, we will have the final amount, which is 6,254 pesos. So that's all that we needed to do to find the final amount. And we also have here a sample problem in our present amount. So our problem is discount 6,254 pesos for 12 months that charge 6% simple interest. What amount must you pay? So in this, as you can see, the given is just the same to the sample problem in final amount. So I just change the final amount that we solved earlier so that it will serve as our checking to our solution. So let us write the given. Final amount is equal to 6,254 pesos. Rate is 6%. Then term is in 12 months or 1 year. So our solution, our formula for finding the present value is equal to F divided by 1 plus RT. So let us substitute the given. So we have 6,254 divided by 1 plus 0.06 times 1. So let us perform first inside the bracket. So we have here just the same as earlier. So let us, for final step, let us divide the 6,254 into the 1.06. So we will get the present value, which is 5,900 pesos. That's just the same to the solution earlier in our final amount. So there you can see that our solution is correct. So next in our discussion, we have the midterm. And our topic for midterm is sinking fund and schedule. So what is sinking fund? Sinking fund is a method or a technique for depreciating an asset while generating enough money to replace it at the end of its useful life. While the sinking fund schedule, it is a table showing the gradual growth of money deposited to create a fund. So how to create sinking fund? To create sinking fund, we should know the periodic payment of deposit and the sum to be raised. Hence, we apply the formula for ordinary annuity. So the formula for ordinary annuity is, for final value, it is S equals RS and angled by I. And for periodic payment naman, we have RS equals S divided by N angled by I. So the notations is here, which is S is equal to final value, R is periodic payment, RS is periodic payment of the final value, N is equal to the number of compounding periods for the whole term, or T, or term multiplied by the compounding period. M is the number of the compounding periods, and I is for our rate per compounding period, or rate divided by our compounding period. And let us go to our sample problem. Our problem is the total of 4,500 pesos will be needed at the end of 3 years. If the money can be invested at 3% compounded semi-annually, find the periodic payment and create a sinking fund schedule. So here in our problem, the missing given is the periodic payment. So we need the periodic payment to create a sinking fund schedule. So to find the periodic payment, we needed the present value, which is 4,500 pesos, the rate, which is 3%. Our compounding period is semi-annually, that is why we have 2 here, and our term is in 3 years. So our I is 1.5%, our N is 6. So our formula is RS equals S divided by N angled by I. Let us substitute given 4,500 divided by 6 angled by 1.5%. So here in our 6th angled by 1.5%, we needed the table of values in table 5. So I will just flash it in the screen so you can see the value of it. So the value of 6 angled by 1.5% is equals to 6.229551. So we need to divide 4,500 by that. And the answer right now is, for our periodic payment, we have 722.36 pesos. So our problem says that we need to find a periodic payment and create a sinking fund schedule. So we already have the periodic payment, and let us proceed to creating a sinking fund schedule. In our sinking fund schedule, we have 5 rows that have the payment number, periodic deposit, interest in fund, increase in fund, and the amount in fund. So we need to fill up the payment number, which is the N, and our N earlier is equal to 6. That's why we have the 6 payment number. Our periodic deposit that we also solved earlier is equals to 722.36 pesos. It will represent our payment and every payment number. So in the first column, we have 0 interest in fund, and to find the increase in fund, we need to add the periodic deposit into the interest in fund. So we have just the same amount, and also in our amount in fund. And the second column, we need to multiply the previous amount in fund into our I, or the interest, which is 1.5%, to find the interest in fund and the second payment number. So we have 10.84, and then we will add it into our periodic deposit, and we will have an increase in fund, which is 733.2. And to find the second amount in fund, we need to add the increase in fund into the previous amount in fund, so that we will have 1,455.56 now in our amount in fund. So let us just repeat the process. Multiplied it in our I, and we will have the interest in fund, which is 21.68, and then add it in the periodic deposit, and then add the increase in fund into the previous amount in fund. So here we can see the process. It's just repeating until we will reach the sixth payment number. So here the increase in fund is 55.82. Let us add it in a periodic deposit, and we will have 778.18. And we will add it into the previous amount in fund, And we will have now the 4,499.81. We will just need to remember that the amount that we needed to reach or to achieve is 4,500 as our problem indicates. So here, we reach 4,499.81 in our sinking fund schedule, which is not far in our amount that we need to achieve. It's just that we have some decimal errors because we round off some in our amount. So our sinking fund schedule right now is success. And now we are here in our last topic, in finals, general ordinary annuity. So what is general ordinary annuity? It is the first payment is made at the end of each payment interval. So when we say general annuity, the compounding periods is not equal to the periodic interval. So the formula to find the general ordinary annuity is S equals R times 1 divided by S K angled by I multiplied by S and angled by I. So here is the formula to find the final value. And for the periodic payment, we have RS equals S divided by 1 divided by K angled by I multiplied by S and angled by I. And as can you see, there is an additional notation which is K. It is the number of compounding periods in a given payment interval. So to find the K, we need to find P, the number of months in payment interval, and C, the number of months in a compounding period. So let us apply this formula to our sample problem. So our sample problem is, what is the amount of an annuity of 170 pesos at the end of every 3 months for 8 years at 3.5% compounded semi-annually? So as can you see, our compounding period here is semi-annually, which is in 2, while our payment is in every 3 months. So it is not equal. So let us write our given. Our periodic payment is in 170 pesos. Our rate is 3.5%. Our compounding period is in 2. Our term is in 8 years. And our I is 1 and 3/4%. N is in 16. And our K is in 1/2 because our P is in 3 months and our C, we have 6 months in every semi-annually. So we have 3 divided by 6 and simplest form, we have 1/2. So the formula that we're going to use is in the final value, which is here. So let us substitute the given. So as you can see, I already substituted here. So to find the K angled by I, we need to find it in table 8 because our K is in the fraction form. So, and also our N angled by I, we need to find it in table 5 because it is in the final value. So I just flash it in the screen so you can see, and I already substitute it here, and we need to perform the operations. So we need to multiply first the 2.008712 into the 18.281677, and we have here 36.722624, and to find the final value we need to multiply it in our periodic payment, which is 170, and we have the total amount of 6,242.85 pesos. And that's all in our general ordinary annuity. And it is the end of our discussion. Hope you learned something, and thanks for listening.